Okay, so why do men cheat?
I think some of them just prefer multiple people. I think it's genetic that we cheat. I think it's part of what our genetics are. It's sort of like you deciding to be a vegetarian. I go, we are not monogamous by nature. But we are not vegetarian by nature. You make a choice to. And I think on that cognitive level...
Which is such a good example. We are not monogamous.
Well, we have the ability to digest proteins.
Right.
But we choose, if you go, I'm a vegetarian, hey, that's great. That's a choice that you... But that's not... as if we think about instinctually, we have this need to reproduce. That exists instinctually.
Right.
It's part of the DNA. Now,
but what about when you make an actual commitment to someone that you're going to be a vegetarian, and then you continue to eat meat? Let's put it that way.
Then you're not a credible dude. Then you're not.
Yeah, we're not saying that that's all right.
And what's your opinion?
My opinion on
Why
that?
do men cheat?
Why do men cheat? I think a lot of times it's just sex, for the most part. I think that has a lot to do with it. It's just physical. Sometimes we just want to have sex with more than one person.
If you think about it genetically, there's women have a finite set of eggs, and men have an infinite set of sperm, and we're constantly producing sperm. And it's part of the genetic makeup of the species. Now, I think there's nothing wrong with what I consider the social contract, which is monogamy, fidelity, all of those things. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't judge anybody that chooses to. But the point is, if you do choose that, part of being a man is to maintain your credibility, to be a man of your word. And if you say that's what you're going to do, then that's what you should do.
Right. Otherwise, you become untrustworthy.
Right. And if you're untrustworthy, your untrustworthy becomes shifty. And it's almost like a subconscious thing where a woman sees your lack of keeping your word as shifty, and shifty is unsafe. Unsafe becomes unsafe is never attractive, and so you ultimately become unattractive because you're not keeping your word in the first place.
Right.
Whereas if you are polyamorous or this, and you're upfront about it, and then she can choose to not indulge, and
right. I think both people should have all the information at all times.
Sure.
Because when someone cheats and then they're making all the decisions for you,
right?
They're deciding
without you.
They're taking away all your choices. But
it all comes out in the wash, and it all comes out in the wash either way. But I would also say that I think there's.
I of course have never been cheated on. These are all hypothetical.
It seems that Carolina.
Loyal boyfriend. He's amazing.
I can feel it. I feel it.
Absolutely. Alex, why do men cheat? Come on.
Well, I don't think it's pure. I mean, men can cheat for any number of reasons per individual, right? I think, perhaps there's a genetic argument to be made for why men want to have sex with multiple women, but there's all kinds of, like, let's say there's a man who lost his job and his wife has started a very successful business. His insecurities might crop up, and he'll just want to feel like he's in control of something, and that desire for control over some part of his life will manifest itself.
But I would
cheating.
I would argue even that is a part of a genetic precursor in a sense of this masculinity and the dominance, and as we perceive it in terms of a social contract as well as the genetic makeup of us in the first place.
You're like a kind person, and I'm not even asking you about cheating because I don't even want to know.
You actually have to commit to somebody before you can cheat on them,
exactly.
Caroline. So Andre is not at that phase.
Andre is not there yet. Andre's interviewing people that he could potentially cheat on. But he's not even thinking about being with the person. There's no cheating yet.
You know what's funny now? He's actually has a girlfriend. He's been really faithful, which is really...
First 6 months, no, but after that, I was good.
Your Honor. That should be followed by Your Honor.
I was good.
Yeah, I will say it's increasingly difficult.
Oh, good.
It's increasingly difficult to be clear about those things now, because with this sort of nobody wants to put labels on it, and it's like, oh, we're seeing each other, but like we're not dating, and it's like it's not exclusive.
That's all horseshit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a way of.
But if one person is more invested in the relationship than the other one, then perhaps Andre slept with somebody else, and she was like, why the hell did you do that? And he's like, well, we weren't dating. I think that it's just better, like you've been saying, it's just better to be upfront and just have all those conversations. But for whatever reason, I think people
ultimately there's somebody that's willing to.
What I've noticed is women never ask me if I am talking to more than one girl. They never do, and then they wait until it's stressing them that's when they bring it up. So 8 months down the line, they're like, I can't take it no more. Stop fucking people. But right away, months will pass, and she will never ask. She'll just assume I'm the whorest of all whores. They do not bring it up.
I don't know why they would think that.
I'm just out here being a good gentleman, you know?
To many women at once.
Shut up.
That's fine.
Shut it up.
You're opening car doors for several women.
Shut it up.
Andre likes to put his coat down over a puddle for many women.
And what about you?
I've never cheated on anyone. I'll get that out. But I was in an open relationship. But that was talked about. That was not secretive. I've never cheated on anyone, but I've not been in that many long-term relationships.
Open relationship?
I was in an open relationship.
What the?
See,
what?
he ain't shit.
What?
Why?
Why?
Because it's the best of both worlds. I get to be with somebody I really care about, and then
potentially get gross diseases from other people.
Ain't nothing about my relationship open.
Yeah, it can't be open. You don't establish hours. It doesn't matter. You missed the whole point of what she just said. The whole point is that it's great.
Wouldn't it bother you if your girlfriend slept with someone else?
I'll be hugging motherfuckers for too long.
Right.
No.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm confident enough where that part didn't bother me. That part didn't bother me. But now, again, it wasn't like we weren't out every night. We weren't doing anything like...
What's your birthday?
Really,
what are you?
November 7th.
Yeah, typical Scorpio. And what are you?
Scorpio.
Scorpio?
But I don't agree with him.
Alex?
I'm a Virgo.
Sorry.
Virgo?
You said sorry?
No.
Sorry that he's a Virgo?
No.
Oh, okay.
She pegged me like you were like I didn't even say anything.
Right.
She was like, "What made you do that?" I'm curious.
What made me do that?
Yeah. What?
You have a car that you pimped out that has a picture of you on it, and now there's a spinning wheel with a half a car of Dante face. You create
there is
a
one
lot
in
of
the
beauty.
studio. Yes.
You add a lot of beauty. Look at you. You've painted your arms. Basically, you painted yourself.
Well, I did that before it was cool. Before
but that's what
baristas
it
do
is.
it.
Before baristas do it. That's so funny.